Now, when you're driving to the airport, it normally takes around maybe 20 to 30 minutes, 50 minutes maybe, depending on where you live and how busy the traffic is. But generally, it'll take maybe less than an hour or around an hour at max. But none of us will think we'll actually die on the way to the airport. No, that's for the actual plane, because the plane's more dangerous than the cars, right? No, let me explain. Now, driving to the airport, well, driving in a car, there is a 1 in 5,000 chance of dying compared to a 1 in 11 million chance of dying on an aircraft. So, pretty much, you're more likely to die in a car than in the airplane. But what does this mean? How is this possible? Well, simply put it, you're driving more than going on an airplane. So, frankly, you're more at risk of dying than driving than going to the airplane. Because when you drive, you're pretty much driving every day. Whereas on the airplane, I don't know, maybe once a year, once every few months. And when you look at it, right, with operating an airplane, you can't just get your license. No, you have to study. You got to do hours. You got to be certified. You got to be trusted. And then you can start driving. But it'll take some time before you can start driving the big Airbuses, the Boeings, But with the car, all it takes is a few lessons, do some driving, and you pretty much got your license. And you can drive pretty much any car, and you can go anywhere. Now, just think about that for a second. And then think about why there's so many crashes for cars compared to airplanes. Because simply there's bad drivers in the world. And that's just how it is. Beyond that, let's go to statistics, for example. We always see on the news about airplane crashes. And this will go on for a few weeks because it'll be so devastating, seeing 100 people die, 200 people. It's shocking, But with a car crash, we see it once a week maybe, or we hear about it once a week. And so we become desensitized, like we don't care about it anymore. But with airplanes, our emotion just takes us over. If you look at statistics, we know dying in a car crash is way more likely than dying in an airplane. But yet, we fear the airplanes more because that's what we've seen on the media. That's what the media wants us to see. And that's just how it plays out, That's how it is. So it's not that the airplanes are more dangerous. It's just that we perceive them to be more dangerous because of our emotions. And so think of this as well, right? There's a lot more cars driving on the road than airplanes. And with airplanes, it's very statistical, it's very organized. Whereas cars are, just drive whatever. So I would say this, closing off this video, just consider statistics more when you're going about your day. There's so many risks that we partake in that we don't even know what the risks are, but yet we do it. And that's just because we don't really see any risk in it. Our emotions tell us that this is fine. We're happy, we're safe. But anything that we see online can shift our emotions. So just be careful and just keep this in mind when you're driving as well. So be safe, everyone.